Hey, I was just down by the Cinema 9 Theater, and there's a whole bunch of people camped in the doorway down there. I tried talking to an officer and asking him why he wasn't citing these people for camping in public. He was polite enough to roll up the windshield in his window in my face and say, "I've got someplace to be right now." Anyway, so how's been your day hanging out on the street corner, and why are you sitting in the blazing sun instead of in the shade of this nice building over there?
Well, see, I'm supposed to say 7 squares from that building, and somewhere in here is a corner because it's a big radius.
That pole right there, I believe it belongs to the city too? Well, you're in violation, buddy.
I'm sure. And so somewhere around here is 7 squares from the corner, and I was in violation of that, so I had to move over some. But I still don't see 7 squares, and I don't know how this spot's okay or that spot's not okay.
Did you ever feel like you needed to be a surveyor to figure out where you could legally sit around here?
You know what? I wish I did have me one of them nice little survey sticks.
You know that the underlying premise of all U.S. law is that the laws have to be able to be interpreted at some level by the average person on the street. They have to be common sense. You shouldn't have to be a surveyor to figure out where you can legally sit on the street. But whether Santa Cruz really even enforces their own laws in a non-selective manner is a whole other issue. So other than that, wow, cupboard's bare today. Been slower, you just cleaned out recently.
Yeah.
Having a good day so far?
Not really. I haven't made any money, but I made a bunch of smiles, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just making people happy.
That's the important thing.
Hey,
I bet you aren't making the business people down here happy. Hey, here's an interesting note that you might talk about. You spend some time panhandling down here. How much of your money that you make down here panhandling gets spent in the local businesses? Can you give that to me in some sort of percentage? Because they say basically their underlying implied thing is that we're all non-consumers, that we're just hanging out, not really doing anything at all, not spending money in the businesses. And I know, from what I know of a number of the panhandlers, they don't wander far, and almost every penny that they seem to be apparently getting from the tourists that could be spent in the businesses actually ends up in the businesses anyway.
Well, this is not the best guy to talk to. Right now I'm working to pay my mother back so she can feed herself back in Michigan. So I'm actually sapping from the community currently. But as soon as I've made my $110 plus what it takes to send the money to her, I will spend all my money here because I live here.
But you buy your food down here and your coffee and things like that. You don't go over to like Boulder Creek to buy your coffee or something like that.
Walk.
Yeah, I know.
But I do have high priorities. My mother needs to feed herself. And
is she unemployed or just?
She's on disability and she just got her own apartment.
Cool, cool.
So it's kind of important that she has the money to get me from Bakersfield to here, so she can feed herself. So I'm not in the desert.
Although Bakersfield has a problem. I just saw an article the other day that they're the areas that are being hardest hit right now as far as homelessness goes. That homelessness in suburbs and in rural areas is up 56% over the last year. That's the Washington Post ran that one the other day.
Really?
Yeah, 56%. Well, what's happening, all the people that are losing their mortgages, they may not be able to afford the mortgage anymore, but they can afford premium rent, and they're driving all the lower middle class out of their housing and the working class and all that. It started happening down in Orange County a couple of years ago. They actually have a legal encampment down there because they had too many people that never been homeless in their lives, you know. Anyway, it's been a pleasure talking to you. What's your name?
My name is Logan Joseph Thorne Fenton for the books.
Logan, you have a great afternoon.